how counseling is structured over time. So, today we'll explore how counseling is structured over time and how individual sessions connect to form a coherent therapeutic process. Up to this point, we've looked at what a counseling session looks like, the therapist's role, and the client's role. What sits underneath all of this is the way counseling unfolds across time. Counseling is rarely designed as a single conversation. It is a process that develops across a sequence of sessions, each building on what has come before. At the outset, counseling usually begins with an initial phase that is about orientation and understanding. This stage is not about solving problems or producing change. It's about establishing focus, boundaries, and a shared sense of what the work is for. Early sessions often involve exploring what has led someone to seek counseling, how they understand their situation, and what they hope counseling might offer. This phase sets the foundation for everything that follows. As counseling continues, sessions tend to move into a middle phase where patterns become clearer. Themes begin to repeat, not because progress has stalled, but because repetition allows understanding to deepen. Over time, attention shifts away from isolated events and towards how experiences are processed, interpreted, and responded to. This is where much of the core work of counseling takes place. The structure of this middle phase is not rigid. It does not follow a fixed number of sessions or a predetermined sequence of topics. Instead, it is shaped by the interaction between the client and therapist, the counseling approach being used, and the pace that feels appropriate for the work. Some approaches are more structured in how this phase is organized, while others allow it to emerge more organically. In both cases, the aim is consistency rather than speed. An important feature of counseling over time is continuity. Each session does not start from scratch. What has been explored previously informs what is possible in the present session. This continuity allows ideas, emotions, and perspectives to be revisited and understood in new ways. Counseling relies on this accumulation rather than on sudden insight or dramatic shifts. As counseling progresses further, many people notice changes not just within sessions, but in how they approach situations outside the counseling room. These changes are often gradual. They may involve noticing familiar responses, approaching decisions differently, or holding experiences with greater clarity. Counseling over time supports these shifts by providing consistent space where experiences can be examined without pressure for immediate outcomes. Towards the later stages of counseling, the structure often becomes more reflective. Attention may turn to what has changed, what has remained stable, and how the work fits into a broader understanding of the person's life. This phase is not about evaluating successes or failures. It is about integrating what has been learned and recognizing how the counseling process has been used. It is also important to understand that counseling over time is not always linear. Periods of clarity may be followed by uncertainty. Some sessions may feel more focused than others. This variation is not a sign that the structure has broken down. It reflects the reality of working with complex human experiences across time. Different counseling approaches organize this overall structure in different ways. Shorter term approaches may place more emphasis on defined phases and time limits. Longer term approaches may allow the structure to evolve more fluidly. Despite these differences, the underlying principle is the same. Counseling is structured as a process, not as a series of disconnected conversations. Understanding how counseling is structured over time helps set realistic expectations. It clarifies why progress is often subtle and cumulative rather than immediate. It also explains why regularity, continuity, and review are central to how counseling is delivered. In the next episode, we'll move into the first of the core counseling approaches by exploring what cognitive behavioral therapy is and how it understands change within the broader structure. That's the scope of this episode. Each episode focuses on one specific thing, and this was it. We'll leave it there for now and move on in the next episode.